GerotheHero, and this is my review of Berserk, basically of what's come out for the most part. I'm going to be covering episodes 2 and 3, and then in another episode, I'm going to cover episode 4. I'm going to have a little discussion of what I think of the rest of the episodes so far, because, initially, episode 1, I was kind of hopeful that it wouldn't be as bad as I thought it actually became for some of the episodes. Um, it's kind of become a train wreck in a way. While episode 2 got rid of the crappy CGI, we're kind of stuck with the regular animation, and it kind of fell short because it was animated really badly, which was disappointing. I mean, if if CGI was what your hangup was, and they had just stuck with the regular animation, then you would think that it would be animated a little bit better, but luckily it's not. Um, and I was thinking initially that, okay, it was kind of a shame that we missed the Lost Children arc, but they probably should have took elements from that, or maybe a quick flashback. They could have done a lot of things because it's kind of confusing in the third episode. Well, actually, the second episode, because Guts is looked at as very weak. Now, if we look at the section in the manga that was skipped, Guts had just survived a really crazy struggle with an apostle that um, stabbed him multiple times. He lost lots of blood. He got to the brink where he was um, losing himself to the rage, and we kind of see the starting of him being influenced by that rage. It's almost manifesting into something, and you don't see that because it's been cut out. Um, so this kind of makes episode a weaker episode because you're just kind of like, okay, why did Guts just kind of get defeated really easily by these weak guys? I mean, obviously it's very apparent that he's weak, but we don't know really why because he didn't seem like he got that beat up in the first episode. Also, um, there was a lot of bad animated parts. It follows essentially what was going on for this storyline, but for the most part, this episode falls flat because of this really crappy animation. Um, and it kind of gets a little bit better by episode 3, but at this point, because of all these problems from the first episode and the second episode, um, you kind of lose a lot of the people's interest by this point. So really, all you got left is maybe really um, diehard Berserk fans like myself, or people that haven't read the manga at all. From what I've heard, people that haven't are okay with this show. It's still not the greatest, but people are still watching. Um, and then we get into episode 3, which was a better episode, but still we have problems with animation. It's very slight, but at this point, it's very noticeable. Um, in this episode, Guts, kidnaps Farnes, and we see that she's so like too into her fate that she cannot see creatures like Puck, because he's basically in front of her, but she can't see it because she doesn't believe in it. But then eventually she starts seeing the evil spirits chasing them, and Guts kind of you know chastise her because he's saying, "Well, there's your miracles. Um, this is what I'm dealing with. So this is basically the real cause of all this destruction that you've found, um, and that he's out to kill the evil spirits and demons that are chasing him." So eventually we get to a mansion where there's another apostle, um, and we find out that this creature was spared by the girl that was um, in this mansion, and this creature's destroyed everybody and eaten everybody. And it's kind of disgusting in this part because like you find out that he uh, preserved her body uh, because of her sparing him, and Guts kind of uses that against him. Um, and he kind of barely makes it, but the animation for this was for the most part good, but like always there's all these little flaws that you see, so it's not the best episode. um, uh, so at one point we reveal once Guts has defeated the apostle and they're about to escape, Farnes tries to run off, and she gets cornered by all these demons, and Guts defeats them, but we find out that Farnes is not the best of persons either. All the pain that she inflicts on herself and others, she kind of gets into it. So she's not the perfect person that she portrays. And eventually she gets possessed by the spirits. Um, Eventually she snaps out of it, and she's like upset with herself and upset with Guts. So she wants to order um, her follower Serpico, who finally shows up. So Farnes tries to get Serpico to kill Guts because she's feeling guilty about being possessed, and she wants to take it out on Guts. So Serpico kind of tells Guts he doesn't want to kill him, but then there's a battle that starts. Um, they both are really fast and can handle each other. Uh, at one point, they both strike each other, um, and then Serpico backs off and realizes that they're about equal, but he doesn't want to full out go on and try to kill each other like a real battle. So they part ways, and of course Farnes is still upset, but the episode ends. Um, and for the most part, this episode 3, is really good, but because of all the other past mistakes in the previous episodes, no one's really watching it as much. So overall, it makes the series pretty average, if not bad. Um, I'm kind of disappointed that even at this point on a good episode, there's still really bad animation. When of course it could have been better. Just going back and reading some of the manga for this section, it's like 10 times better than this animation. So you kind of wish a better production could have made this. And I guess if you've never seen the manga, then you might be okay with this. But for the most part, anybody that's read the manga will probably want to avoid this. But I'm going to try to continue reviewing some of the future episodes. I know I kind of held off on doing individual episodes just because of all the bad discussions and basically hate against this anime. I kind of held off for a little bit, but I'm going to try to do the rest of the episodes, starting with episode 4. So, as always, comment below, subscribe if you're interested, follow me on Twitter, and I will continue to review different shows for the summer. And I'll see you next time.